Hello, 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 everybody. How are you? I am here with Brenda Dunse, who has very generously agreed to come talk to us about her experience as a recent graduate of VA school. Because I know a lot of you are thinking about it, trying to decide if it's for you. And so Brenda is going to tell you a little bit about her experience. So Brenda, so why don't you give us a little background? Like where were you then, and where are you now?
Okay, well, before I started, I was in transition big time. I had just come out of a major illness situation when the pandemic hit, and I have a fiber studio business, and everything is done live with live events. So everything was shut down with that. So that was the double whammy, and it was like I was learning copywriting things, moving forward. Knew I was going to be working more for myself. My husband and I have a business also hit by the pandemic when travel stopped. And so it was just kind of like, oh, what are we going to do? So my work experience, my background is business administration. And there was a little time back a year ago when Belinda's name came up, and it was like, oh, yeah, that would be kind of interesting, and I could do that. So I was kind of looking at being faced with, if things didn't change with the pandemic, what is my best way to be where I would have borrowing power and still have control of my schedule, my hours, and hope that I would, be able to spend time with family and friends. So it was really when Belinda said, start where you are. I mean, I heard that in basically in her challenge, and it was like, just start where you are. And it's like, okay, that's my work experience, that's my background. So with 30 plus years in business administration, that's where it started, because I would still be able to work for myself. I wouldn't have to rely on an employer to set my schedule, and it would give me the borrowing power if we decided to make a shift, because I had the experience to go back on.
Mm-hmm.
So that was when it was like, okay, what's my fastest way to get up to speed? And that is find a mentor. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where the VA school came in Belinda. And like I said, I had, knew of Belinda, and it was kind of between, I didn't quite know if I was ready for the copywriting world completely. I love the communication and business, and this just made sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's awesome. So I remember the moment. I actually, this is crazy. You know how you remember certain things. Like I don't actually know what I had for breakfast, but I do. I have the same thing every day. But when you said start from where you are, and you said it to me in the voice of how you got it, that made an impact on me. And during the challenge that we've been in for the last 5 days, many people have said to me, I don't have this. What do I do? I don't have this. What do I do? And I was channeling you. And I said, start from where you are. It doesn't matter where that is, because I didn't really realize how powerful those words were until you gave them power for me. So thank you for that, because I've gotten feedback that people are getting that. They're getting like, oh, okay, well, because what's your other choice? Start from where you're not, like, right?
Mhm.
So it is, but it's hard to do that. Well, it's not hard to do that because that's what you have to do. It's hard to accept that sometimes. It's hard to accept
Mhm.
it. So what's going on with your business now? Because you've been working on it. What's going on?
So basically, when I started out in June, I believe it was, that we signed up for the
Mm-hmm.
VA school, and it was like I was in this. Um, I mean, I didn't have a name, I didn't have branding, I didn't have anything, and I knew I wanted something big enough I could grow into. So I was real hesitant to really niche into any one specific area, because I knew I wanted growth, and there was these other sidelines that I wanted to kind of pull in, because this is the path. I mean, it's working for myself is my future. I don't intend to look to retirement anytime soon. So it's kind of like, how do we make this work? So at that point, I basically came up with a name, got the EIN, got the business established. I went with an LLC. I went through all the things of getting all of that set up. I'm not a stranger to business, so that did help in getting that stuff into place and getting the bank accounts set up and the credit cards and all that. Where I ran into the real struggle is the development side with the website, and when it comes to the graphics and the branding, because I still feel a little vulnerable there. But this last week, I stayed on with you and went into the accountability challenge with the VIP club, and in there I just kind of drew a line in the sand about midweek. I think it was Wednesday, and said, okay, this is it. You're going to just start reaching out to people on social, and you can just continue to add and create as you go. So that's kind of where it is. And everything's figure outable was the other phrase. And so breaking things down has been really good. And I think the other big challenge that I was faced with is I was in a world that came from a paper and was really heavy into hard copy paper records management for many, many, many years. I mean, I had 32 file cabinets on a project, and so I was really into you don't throw anything out. So the whole idea of knowing I needed to go to the digital and online space, but just how to do that. And I think one of the other big selling points for me with the VA school was you're a little closer to my age. I mean, it's not a millennial situation like I've been trying to. So I think you understood that part of it and that gap. Yeah. So just to help bridge that gap. So I think really that's probably the seeds were there, the soil was ready and things, but I really needed to have that bridge to get me to where I needed to go, and to be able to see through that, because it was a safe environment to ask the questions and a great community. And,
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm thrilled with the community. I have to say, I've done a lot of programs in VA school, and the people that are in each program, whether it's 8 people or 100 people, they really gel. And I don't know when it's going to stop surprising me, because I mean, it just happened in the challenge where, we had 1,100 people who never met each other, and they're talking to each other, and they're, helping each other. And that's the cool thing that I really love about VA school, is that a lot of you did come over to the VIP club. You're still hanging together and helping each other. I was so touched last week when Angela was struggling with her newsletter, and Karen just said, "Well, I'm free after this. You want to just jump on?" I was like, "Wow, that's really awesome." Yeah, you guys really you made it really special. You definitely did. So, what's the biggest aha that you had? Like, sometimes people come for one thing and they end up finding something else. Like, what was the thing where you were like, "Oh, I know, start from where you are. I know." Was there anything else that really kind of hit you over the head?
Yeah, I think there has been, some of the things that I would have to say the chicken chatter. I mean, it's like the whole mindset thing, because I think we get in our own way, and that's been just huge. In fact, I ran in that again today. I was in a meeting, and it was just somebody was talking, and they were trying to explain these voices in your head, and it's like, well, Melinda's got it. It's chicken chatter, and that really, it's like, yeah, she gets it. She's in my head. And even when the day that I had the epiphany with the whole thing with the paper to online. And it was like, for me, it was like an overwhelming, I was stuck in the moment, got in the question and answer. And with the group, it just kind of, oh, they understand. So I think, it's almost like having that water cooler situation, but yet you're by yourself. I don't know how to explain it. It's the community.
Yeah.
Just getting it. You get it.
Well, I remember one time I signed up for a program. This was on a different topic, and it was a number of years ago. And the reason I signed up was because, I had this crazy around a situation I was in, and she called it out. Like, she said it. She talked about how she felt, and as soon as I heard her describe this thing that I thought I was the only one with it, like I really thought that, then it's like, oh, really? And so I think that's it for a lot of people, is that, it's on one hand, I'm sitting here, I'm all handled meaning, everything's all, put in the right place. But the truth is that I still have the chicken chatter. I still have it, every day. The difference is that I've learned how to manage it. So I'll take a lap around the yard, or I'll just say to myself, I'm talking to myself in the third person, knock it off, knock it off. Just do the thing. Do the thing. You have everything you need. So and it helps me to hear all the chicken chatter. So for people who don't know what chicken chatter is, I have 12 little adorable chickens in my backyard, and they walk around all day going, rup, up, 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 rup, up, up. And that's what it sounds like in our head sometimes, when we're struggling and we don't know what to do next. So that's why we have these chicken chatter. So each module has a little section of chicken chatter where I try to get into what it is with pricing or what it is with getting clients and just sort of blow it up. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. That's fun. So tell me about your lifestyle. So you've been a business owner for a while, so you're used to setting your own days and things. How do you think being a VA is going to play into that? Like, how do you think that's going to make your life the way that you want it to be?
Oh, it has done wonders already. Probably the biggest thing is that I was so good at keeping everybody else organized that I let myself go. As far as I would be the one that was the juggler. I was always never allowed. I never scheduled the time for my work. I never. So it was like just juggling and hitting it. And then there was this chaos and I was feeling out of control because I was used to being in a control, life isn't controlled. I don't know. There is no way of that. But as far as being a little bit more prepared. And so with this, one of the very first things that I remember you saying is treat this like your business. This is your business. And from the day I signed up from VA school was, okay, this is my business. And I was looking at it from a standpoint of if everything else goes away, me and my business are going to make it. And I know that sounds kind of harsh, I'm married and I have family and all that stuff, but it was really, I needed to be able to depend on myself. And I also seen that in your story. And it was one of those things, as we age and retirement, we have parents that pass away and things like that, that is very real. And I want to be able to take care of myself if I ever have to. And so then with that, it was like, okay, you have to. It was really kind of that, that they say, burn the sails, you're on the island, you have to take the island. And it was really kind of that moment. And it was like, okay. And from that point forward, I put the schedule into place. I, got my marketing Mondays, my finance Fridays, we got you. And it's amazing what I've been able to accomplish just taking control of that calendar and just get your own systems into place, mm-hmm. and that was the other, just not being intimidated by the online calendars and things, because I still hung on to my paper calendar. And so I had dual calendars and, that kind of thing, and just mm-hmm. trusting the system. And I did get caught up in things as we went through the challenge here, where I would get myself really caught in the details. I would say if I get caught, that's where it's going to be. And that in tech. But it's really then stop, break it down. Where's the priority? And from that point, it was like, I remember you saying the revenue target, your products, your service. And it's kind of like, oh yeah, you're in business, girl. This is what you do. I've done it for everybody else. And I think that was the hard part, is letting myself do it for you, and it was always, I'll be ready. The whole idea of even the business, being in it for when it mattered. But that was probably my aha moment, I would say, is the day I realized my why is for me. Mm-hmm. And that was really huge, because you can't really do it for anybody else and still have control over any of it.
No. And being self-reliant, that to me is so important, because you don't know what's going to happen, and you don't. And yes, we have family and husbands and all of that stuff, and life happens. We're old enough to know, things change and don't always go. I'm not even sure there really is a plan, but there's a plan. But what I mean is, you just can't predict. That's what I mean. No. You really can't predict. And so there is something about it. And even in a bigger way, if you have 10 clients and 3 of them go away, okay, you know what to do. You got the 10, go get 3 more, get 5 more, whatever you want to do. But when you lose a job, especially, sorry, but at our age or even 10 years ago, not so much. You know,
Mhm.
it's harder. It just is. And I get it. I get it because I was in corporate for a long time. But being self-reliant is good. And also, that focus that you're talking about, which is I was thinking about this in the shower today when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about on day 5 of the challenge. It's like mostly I have it figured out, but I was like, okay, how do I want it to feel? And like, what is the point of, why are we here together today? And what I realized was that when I finally had enough, I just focused on me and my business and Emily, and that was it. And I stripped everything else away. I wasn't chit chatting during the day. I wasn't cleaning my house and, organizing the laundry, and some things just got a little messy and a little sloppy. But I have the thriving, like really good relationship with my daughter, and my business is solid. And I think just by, you know, focusing like that, you can get the result. So yeah, instead of, well, when it's time, I'll get to it and whatever. So you've really accomplished that. So congratulations.
Yeah, it's changed our whole structure here at home, and I think part of it is that we also prior to when I came to work for my husband, it was like I was used to running an office, and before that I had my own business, but I had the whole lower level of the house, so we would have meals together and things, but for the most part he did a lot of his and I just did mine on the side. But then when we were completely together 30, 35 hours a week, it was like I turned to him for he's going to make the decisions, this, that, and the other. It didn't work. So this gave me the structure. And I mean, I've told him, if you were the client, I would let you go because we would
I
probably
would too.
have to part ways because we just are different, it's the opposites attract, that you marry. But
That's right.
as far as that, I mean, I've been able to put the structure into place. So I take care of the house stuff in the morning and go into the office, and I treat it like I would be going to the office.
Yeah, good.
Only I probably am doing 14 hours a day right now instead of
Right,
just
right, right,
set
right,
up.
right.
But
Well, that'll balance out. That'll
yeah, it
definitely
will.
balance
It
out.
will.
Yeah, yeah. So, unless there's something else you want to say, I would just love to close on, what's your favorite thing about VA school? What was, your favorite thing, or maybe the thing you miss now that it's over?
Oh gosh, I mean, just the just the meeting up with everybody in the community and reaching out and that part. I mean, the Q&A, I mean, you were so generous with the Q&A for um, the VA school, and that in itself is worth it. I mean, you don't get that kind of mentoring. And then when we started out, and then you doubled it, tripled it, whatever. I mean, it was like if you can't. I mean, there's no way for the pricing that you could get a coach for that price. It was very valuable.
That's really, I appreciate you saying that. So sometimes I wonder if people, when they hear me say there's 15 people in a Zoom room and me, can you describe a little bit of what I'm putting you on the spot? I know what that feels like because I think people think they're going to get lost, and I don't think anybody got lost.
No, and actually I've because I'm working on a course for my other business and stuff, and I've been really involved in the online event space as far as a participant, and I've been in several of them, and it is what you're doing industry standard wise is unheard of, where you have that question and answer. And I'll be honest, I mean, it gives me goosebumps because it was like when I found you, and I mean, I told Brad, I remember when you announced VA school and the pricing and stuff, and I said, honestly, hon, I can't afford not to. I can't get a mentor for, I mean,
No.
and I knew from your experience working with Michael and different ones that, she's top notch. So it was really, I feel really blessed to be part of the founder group.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you reinforcing that because some people have said to me, I can't afford VA school. Can we do one-on-one coaching? And I'm thinking, like, that's going to be one-on-one is much more expensive. And I think you get one-on-one, I just think you get it. So
I think
anyway.
you actually, Belinda, I think you get even a step above that because of the fact that when you're in the group, other questions come up that you might not think of yourself, and then it bounces around. And, not to take away from the one-on-one that you would have, but I just think that when you have the minds in there, sometimes you wouldn't think of those things until after, when you're in the shower.
Right. And I don't do one-on-ones. I have a different program, but it's not strictly one-on-one. And that's why, and I think you really shined a light on it. In a way I hadn't thought about it yet, but because if somebody's asking about this and you've never heard of that, now you have a whole new concept, and then we talk about it, and then everyone's making notes like, oh, I didn't know about that thing, or people are helping each other. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, the study halls, I can't wait for those to start again. That's my favorite part. It was really fun for me to create all those videos and the checklists and the templates. That was really fun. But the study hall, so it's every Tuesday and Thursday. And so it would be Monday, I'd look forward to Tuesday. And then Tuesday, then we'd be on Thursday, and that was great. But I didn't like the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Like, I didn't like that. I was like, you want to do it on the weekend, guys? We should just do it on the weekend too. Because I loved being in there, and it really, it was exciting. It was exciting to hear what you guys were thinking about and what you needed help with and all of that. So, yeah.
And a lot of extras with the bonuses. Every time we came up with something that we needed, you were right there. And quick turnaround. It was a very good experience. I highly recommend it.
Thank you. Well, thank you for joining us. For those of you who are watching, looks like we have some viewers, which is terrific. We are going to have Dana Williams at 7:45 Eastern tonight. She's going to come on. We got a little delayed if you were looking for her at 5. Or 4:30. So 7:45, I'll be right back in here with you, and let's just see what happens next. All right. Thanks. Thank you, Brenda.
You're welcome. Thanks.